today we're going to be looking at the top 3 players in each position. We've had a massive shake-up with the Path to Glory, and I wanted to go over who's the best in their position. Obviously, there is going to be different opinions on different positions, so let me know down below who you would prefer in the top spots. Now, goalkeepers. Very easy to kind of go with, to be honest. I feel like there's just so many decent options, and I feel like a lot of the team of the seasons did themselves justice. Goalkeeper is one of the cheapest positions you can go for, and most definitely will give you, I'd say, a little bit of an edge, but actually not that much this year, which is just crazy. Going into the first spot, and it's mainly just purely on design as well with this one. I love Team of the Year Alisson. Team of the Season's very cheap, very nice, but you always go for the highest of that person, and I do think Alisson this year is an absolute smash hit. Whereas the second spot is going to, I'm going to go always in order of 3, 2, 1. I think Schmeichel has absolutely done it this time round. He is a stunning card, 96 rated, with the possibility to go to 97 as well. I don't feel like we'll see a playstyle plus with him. We more than likely will get the 99 stat. And I believe somewhere there was tweeted out that they won't give a playstyle plus, so it might be an upgrade as well, but I haven't verified that. So if he does, that would be incredible to get a 98 Schmeichel, and potentially with that upgrade could go into that top spot, but he's going to stick at number 2 for me. And in the number 1 spot, which is just an easy one in my opinion, he is still absolutely phenomenal in every aspect going. It is going to be the Dutchman. I couldn't find him there, but we've obviously got to go with Van der Sar. Van der Sar is arguably one of the best keepers we've had throughout the entire of the FIFA franchise. So he has got to be in that absolute top spot for me. Alisson third, Schmeichel second, and then Van der Sar, ultimate birthday was it, in 92. If you're looking for coins to improve your team, head over to lootbar.gg for the most reliable and also the best coins around. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours. Absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. Moving on straight away to the right backs. Now, there's been some incredible ones as well. I think every position has got themselves multiple options that you can go for. And I do think with the Path to Glory, with Walker, with Aspilicueta definitely up there, Vasquez as an SBC, Alberto, Carfu, there's a huge amount of players that you can go for. Now, in the third spot for me, it's quite an easy one. He's technically a left back, but he does come under the right back category as well. It has got to be none other than Cancelo. He is a great addition to the right backs. He is one of them ones that has always played in that left back role in I think in Man City, and I don't know if he does in Barca, but regardless, he can play right back, so he's got to be there. A new addition in Kyle Walker, I think for me, has got to be up there for an incredible upgrade. We obviously got the winter wildcard as a centre-back, and we saw absolutely nothing since then. Finally, we get the upgrade, and even better with all of these Path to Glories is the fact they have got the ability to get better. I've gone off what they are now because England could not score a goal and go out in the group stages. It's a possibility. Anything can happen, so there's no bank that we win one game to get an overall. But if he does, it really just solidifies that spot even more for me. Then it's an obvious one for the final top spot. I absolutely love him this year. Frimpong is looking incredible. 97 rated, one of the highest right backs we've seen for a long time, to be honest. Since we've got like the footies versions where they've maybe hit 98, 99. To get a team of the year at 94 so early on, and then finally to be one of the first right backs to get 97. Incredible stuff for him, and he is definitely deserving of that top spot. We move over to the left back side of stuff now. Again, some incredible hitters from Teo, Sakina, Davies, again a Cancelo, Capdevia. You go a bit further down, you've obviously got multiple versions of these. Baka with her lovely, was it just a team of the group stage or road to the knockout, I think it was. Ferland Mendy has got to be up there as well. Now, in my third spot for this, I had to pick between two that are sensational, and that is going to be none other than 95 Davies. He is just looking nuts. A very, very, very good card. And I do think when we look at him, he most definitely puts himself up there. But I do think there is one better than that. We're obviously going to go with Capdevila first. I think he's only just clinched it, but I think he's brilliant in game. We saw him last year being one of the most prolific left-backs going, and this year he's finally got himself his first upgrade. But then what kind of really swayed me more with Davies is Ferland Mendy's still up there. He's still incredible. Now, Davies is not missing out by much, but I do think Capdevila and Mendy are just that little bit better. And then even then, you've got Sakina coming in as a 97. She is definitely one to not be squandered, and I think she could be argued as a third, second, or even fourth spot over the rest. But for me, Teo has had an incredible season this year, and making that 97, I think, is an easy option. And to be honest, both left backs can play wingers as well, so they can even play left mid and right mid if they really should choose. Now, fullbacks is another position where I think we've got so many options, from VVD, who arguably is the best. You've got Saliba, Ruben Diaz, Militao, Renard definitely coming in with a moments, Bastoni. Then you go down even further to Marquez. You've obviously got Upamecano, Thiago Silva, Ramos. There's an endless list for for centre-backs, and I think you could probably go with the first 3 or 4 pages and still be absolutely up there. That as well is a cold dynamic. Love that. That's brilliant. But if I was to pick number 3, now it was an argument between 2 of the brand new cards in my opinion. Vidic has been sensational for the Galazzo, is 91, is 94, and then getting another upgrade to 96. But then also Saliba as well. And to be fair, they're only just missing out, to be honest, from Eder Militao and Ruben Diaz. Like, them two, again, are great additions that can go up. But I've gone with Vidic as my 3rd spot and Saliba as my 2nd spot. I think both of them bring absolutely everything. They've got themselves an incredible playstyle pluses with slide tackle, intercept, bruiser, anticipate, slide tackle, aerial. Potentially Saliba having the best playstyle pluses you can get for the triple. But Van Dijk has always got to be in that number 1 spot. And obviously we've got to use the red version of him because I got very, very fortunate with this card. But he's always there. I think he's the most used gold centre-back you could physically get. And this version most definitely has just enhanced that card even more. Now for the CDM spot, I have split up the midfield. So we've got 3 CDMs, 3 centre mids and 3 cams, just to make it a bit more even, because otherwise I'd have to pick 1 CDM, 1 centre mid, 1 cam. So I'd rather go for 3. Now, in terms of CDMs, there's options. There's definitely options, but also the options are not necessarily the craziest in selection compared to all the other positions, if I'm being brutal, because a lot of the time, the box-to-boxes do outweigh it. When you come to the path to glories, the footers, the shapeshifters, you get all of these CDMs that have multiple of everything. Perfect example, Cal. He's got himself 90 across every stat. So would you class him as a CDM or would you class him as a box-to-box? That's always got to be the options. And I think for the first one, we've gone with somebody who I consider to be very good as a DM, could be considered box-to-box, but he is 95, he's German, and that has got to be Goretzka. A wonderful, wonderful card that's got incredible defensive abilities, and he has got them play styles as well. We move back to the CDMs to be able to get the 2nd spot with Rodri. Now, I'm going to pick the 2 options straight away because we're going to go for number 1 because there really isn't too much in it between them, but that's going to be Declan Rice. Now, with the difference between these two, there isn't that much, to be fair. You look at the stats and you think, okay, like pace is there, shooting's there, passing, dribbling, defending and physical are the same. You've got yourself the 5-star, the 4-star, 5-star or the 4-4. But with Rice, he's personally in my midfield at the moment and he's insane. We've used both. We've used all 3, to be fair. But in terms of the first 2, we've used them heavily. And I just prefer Rice in this. And I don't know if it's... I thought to start with when I kind of compared the 2, maybe it was the agility balance. But then Rodri's is better. Then you've got a bit more composure. You've got more reactions on Rodri. So dribbling sense, Rodri should be better. And to be honest, maybe it's the height. That could be the biggest thing, really. That's the difference between them. That 2 inches could make Rice that little bit more agile on the ball, and he could be, but Rice for me has been the better option out of the 2. into the centre mids. Now, this is where it's tricky because there is a lot of top-end centre mids. You could argue the new Cruz, who we actually can't actually go with, so I haven't put Gerrard, Cruz, Puskás in these lists because we physically cannot play with them at the moment. You've got Bonmati with all of her versions, Putellas, who's been a club legend this year, De Bruyne, Modric, Valverde, Rice, Vitinha, another great example. Now, I've gone with the difference between Vitinha and also Armand Valverde. Valverde has been nuts this year. The upgrade from the gold into the multiple versions he's had, this team of the season really stands out. He's 96, the rapid, the anticipate, the relentless, the stats are stacked. Now, the second spot is controversial because I do think there is better centre mids, but I do think this one is just a game changer. When it comes to being in this position, I don't think there's much better than the 94 Hullet that we got. He's just a special sort of player. He works in every aspect of the game. He may not have the greatest stats in terms of 90s across the board. He might not have the free play style pluses yet. But Hullet as a player in game, if you've ever used him, you know full well how much damage this card can do. But my favourite box-to-box this year, and I think he's probably one of most people's favourites, has got to go, and I think he might be a cam to start with, to our boy Bellingham. Bellingham is just different gravy as a box-to-box. Even when we got the gold card, you could tell he was decent enough, and you knew full well he was going to get a team of the season. He was going to get a team of the year. Whether we see a fully upgraded Footies 99, I'm hoping so, but this card is just absolutely nuts. Which leads us on to the cams, the final midfield. Now, in terms of cams, again, you've got 3 or 4 coming from the Bundesliga. You've obviously got the Royce as an end of era. Pele's up there. De Bruyne. Ronaldinho technically can throw his name in the hat here. There's a lot of options. And I think for the first one, I've gone with the German player, and that narrows it down, because Wirtz has got to be the number 1 shout here for number 3. He is, again, incredible. He's had a lovely upgrade. He's a 5-5. I think he personally just takes it off Royce, just takes it off Musiala, and he's just up there in terms of one of the better cams you can find in the game. Number 2. Now, you could definitely argue number 2 and number 1. I think it goes personally down to body type for me and just how influential they are in the game. Both of them are at the absolute top of their game. Pele is obviously going to go in number 2, but then the other spot, number 1, is going to go for 97 Team of the Season Messi. Messi is just Messi. It's just an incredible card. Again, both of them are just as good as each other. You could argue Wirtz, maybe Ronaldinho throws himself there. People might like Musiala more, but I think Wirtz at the minute has taken over KDB's role as my favourite cam, but there's no taking away from Messi or Pele. I think both of them are just too good in the game to really miss out. We move to the left wing now, and to be honest, I probably have to make a new team. And again, there is a crazy amount of option that you can go with left wing. There's just multiple levels. Kvaratskhelia, Sama, Diaz, a great upgrade potential for him. Felix, maybe not quite Sancho, just a high rated. Rivaldo, Neymar, you've obviously got Doku up there. You've got multiple right wings that can play left wing as well. Now, funnily enough, the 3 positions are going to go to 3 Brazilians. The first spot is going to go to a striker, technically, and that is going to be none other than Team of the Season, if I can find him, Vinicius Jr. Now, we've got to pick the one that I've got because he is just magical on the ball. Obviously, when it comes to the next kind of 2, I think they're pretty obvious, both being Brazilian. Neymar is obviously going to go up there, and Rivaldo is going to follow. I do think Ronaldinho with an upgrade will definitely take back that top spot, but at this moment in time, Vinny and Neymar have been nuts for Team of the Seasons. They're both obviously 5-5s, both with impeccable stats across the board, and they absolutely slap it. You've obviously got the finesse technical quick step, you've got yourself the finesse first touch quick step. They are just brilliant, and most definitely they are expensive as well. But Rivaldo's card, if you've used him yet, is insane. It's just an incredible upgrade with the chance to go to 98. Obviously, the Copa America is going on the 21st. I don't specifically know when Brazil's version match is, the first one. If they do manage to get the 2 goals straight off the bat, it's going to be a lovely upgrade. Then if we were to see the 4 goals in the first 2 or even 1 match, to be honest, it can happen. That is going to be a card that just levels up even more. Right wing side, this is where I think left wing really kind of took it at their own pace this year. There's definitely a lot of right wings, but left wing there's options on options. Right wings, there's a good amount of the same player, where we see 3 Hansons, we see 3 or 4 Dembeles, 2 or 3 Sakas, like 5 to 6 Salas. Rafinha obviously throwing himself in for the objective. Diani being a cult hero. Afinha being a future star. Jarzinho and then El Waran. Other than that, and I suppose Georgie Best and Garincha puts themselves at a decent level, but in terms of kind of the affordable and then the absolute top, left wing has really done it this year. Into the right wing though, the first player is going to be the newly upgraded Saka. Love the dynamic on him, looks absolutely cold. Into the second spot, now it's the difference between what I prefer and what actually is there. I do think Hansen deserves that spot. You can obviously go for the team of the season, it gets the extra playstyle plus. And then finally Dembele. Dembele is just nuts in himself. And I think for them 3, you could argue Salah could have been up there with the 95 still, but I think Saka's new upgrade is definitely one to look at and, like I said, could increase himself in the future. Hansen's been incredible this year, I think there's no arguing there, and Dembele is just a monster upgrade. I didn't expect him to get a 96, especially after getting a 93 fantasy. I thought they might have only upgraded him a little bit, judging from other team of the seasons, but they did really well. And the most anticipated one, the striker. You could go for multiple strikers that are fan favourites, that are cheap but beastly. I think there's 3 on this list that I absolutely love, and one has actually changed from the second spot to the third spot this time round, and that is going to be none other than Team of the Year R9. R9 is just a spectacle, and I think you can always have the arguments of CR7. You could put Di Natale up into that top list, but I think with R9 especially, and obviously even Cruyff as well, R9's just a different ball game. When it comes to a striker, he's always on that list. And one that I do think is better this time round, it's got to be Dalglish. I used him yesterday, and honestly, he was a breath of fresh air when it comes to playing up front. He was impeccable, and I thought he might not be as good with no sprinting playstyle plus. He's got the 5-5. He's got himself the stats that are going up. Hopefully Scotland do manage to get 2 goals at a minimum to get him into that 98. If they can get 4, even more fantastic. But he definitely puts himself at that number 2 spot. And like I said, Haaland, even Kane, to be fair, Smith has been incredible, but the number 1 spot has always got to be reserved for Mr. Mbappe. To be honest, you probably go for the team of this season, actually, for the triple playstyle plus, but whatever version of Mbappe, he's always going to be up there as one of the best, if not the best, in every single game going forward. He's just that good, and hopefully we do see a 5-5 version of him, because that would be even better. Quadruple playstyle plus, add like a finesse onto him, give him the 5-5, and the card will be broken. And that is going to be my top 3 in every position. Let me know where yours sits.